Hey Maritza, you and Sonia and me. So, how is everyone tonight? Hey, Sonia Tab. I said it was Maritza and Sonia Tab. I can't see who everybody else is. But listen, tonight, hey, welcome to Live Late Night Lattes, Laughter, and Life with Lady Laura. And tonight is one of those nights where it's been a heck of a week. I don't know how your week has been, but I am, it's been a heck of a week. But the good thing is, it's been interesting enough that it made me take a look at myself again. So, 4 years ago in 2016, we had I had a conference, me and Sonia and Freddie, and it was called My Beautiful Insecurities. And we did that because a lot of us were having, and even still now, a lot of us were having insecurities. And we were putting it on other people and saying other things, but we needed to take ownership for it. And so I got the definition of insecurity: lack of confidence. It's no assurance or self doubt. And I thought, that's us right now. Well, I'm going to speak for me, that I'm having that. And let me tell you this. So, the beginning of the week, my daughter, Kennedy, my oldest daughter, she's doing this new thing. Okay, so I have twists, and Kennedy has like whatever those things are called, twist or whatever. I don't know. They're called something like dreads. She's trying to make dreads. Okay, there you go. And so she's trying to make dreads, and her hair is red now. Okay, so if you guys know my daughter, you've seen her, and I like red sometimes because I've had red, so I understand. But red, when it comes to my parents, and for those of you who know my parents, they're very conservative, right? They've gotten a little looser since they've had grandchildren, but they're very conservative. So here's the thing. My mother isn't particularly fond of, she likes my hair now, but she doesn't like braids. She doesn't like whatever. And you know what? I like it. Right now in the season and where we are in the pandemic, I like my hair because I don't have to do anything. I can just get up and do it. So my daughter on Monday says to me, she FaceTimes me and she's devastated. You know how the phone comes up and the FaceTime, and she's like, Mom, guess what your mom said to me? And I was like, I already know it's something crazy. I said, so what did Granny say to you? And so Kennedy said to me, she said, Hey, I used to call you, hey, pretty girl. Listen, I used to call you pretty girl, but I can't call you pretty girl because your hair is a mess. And what are you doing? When are you going to get it done? She was like, Mom, I just got it done. And I was like, yeah, you did. She didn't even see it last week. And I go, yeah, I know. So Tony was listening. I was listening. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kennedy. I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry that she said that. And welcome to my world. And then I got to thinking, that is some of the reason that I'm the way that I am. God says we're fearfully and wonderfully made, right? And we all say that we believe that, but I don't know if we do. And I say that for me too, because I have on all this, I don't have on makeup because now my skin is getting better. Lakeisha's working on my skin. But when you're older, you have, my family has acne. So growing up, if I had acne, then I wanted to make sure my hair was right. So when it comes to insecurities, you start thinking about what's wrong with me. So in the last 5 weeks, we've hit all those, right? We've talked about what's wrong with us. We've talked about what have we done or not done that God told us to do. And some of it was because of fear. So on Sunday night, we had a meeting in our class, our Hebrew class. And one of the things that the bishop said was, you need to let some of these things go. You're in all these groups and you got to let them go. You can't be in every group and everything. And what are you afraid of? And so that went back to my own insecurities and my own, what am I afraid of? And if I'm honest, what am I afraid of? I am afraid of on to do this platform by myself. So the book comes out now. It's got pushed back to March 16th. And my agent today tells me, you've got to be on Facebook, you've got to be on Instagram, you've got to be on TikTok, you got to be on Twitter, you got to be on LinkedIn, all these things I have to do. And the insecurities have started all over again. So I don't know if it's just me. What about you? You already have said, some of you haven't said it in the chat. What are you afraid of? And what are you not doing? So tonight, let me show you. I got to put on my glasses because I wear contacts, but I need my readers. And then look at this to tell you how crazy I am. 1, 2, 3 pair of readers so that I can make sure that I see. But I want to ask you something because I don't know if it's just me. And I've been asking God all week. I've been on this prayer with PWT. Sacrificial prayer, 3 a.m. in the morning. So I'm sleepy. So I'm going to bed as soon as this is over. But I'm letting you know that when you want something from God, you have to seek him. So here I am in this prayer at 3 o'clock in the morning. And here's my diary. I'm a journal person, right? So this one is Beth Moore's So Long Insecurity. I have the book, I have the journal, and I have everything. Maybe you want to pick that up. But let me say to you, let me ask you a question, and then I'm going to wrap it all together. Insecurity is truly a bad friend, even an enemy to all of us. How has keeping company with such a friend in quotes, damaged you spiritually, emotionally, mentally, or physically? There's the 4 questions. How has keeping company with your friend insecurity damaged you spiritually, emotionally, mentally, or physically? Now, you may not want to say that, and I'm going to say what's an enemy? An enemy is a person who feels hatred for, fosters harmful designs against, or engages in antagonistic activities against another, an adversary or an opponent. An opponent. So, what are you insecure about? Now, I am going to be transparent, and you can put it in the notes if you want, and if you don't have to. But here's the thing. What in the world is holding you back? Because it all ties together. It all ties together with I am trying to encourage you all as well as encourage myself. What has God called you to do that you're afraid of and that you're hiding behind an insecurity to say why you won't do it? For example, and I'm going to tell you mine. And I say I'm going to tell you mine out loud because that way nobody can hold it against me. If I tell you, then I told you, right? So I want you to listen. Last week, you guys have really been saying to me, you've texted me and you've said to me later, this is what's going on with me. And you know what? I was saying to my husband that I cannot help anybody, or we as the body of Christ can't help people if we don't tell the truth or if we don't acknowledge what's wrong with us in the first place. And so we'll have something, because I'll get to that next week when I'm talking about the book, because it is Black History Month. Happy Black History. So listen, Number one. So it says here's the insecurities. And if you, yep, we got 20 minutes, y'all. If you are not too embarrassed to worry about, that's good, Ingrid. We can't define ourselves by other people, but we do that. So I'm going to say this to you. How has the friend of insecurity damaged you spiritually? That's one. Emotionally, mentally, or physically. So one is spiritually. So I'm going to tell you mine. Mine is spiritually, I'm upset with God and I can hardly move forward to do what he has asked me to do. Spiritually, I'm being disobedient. Spiritually, I have been disobedient. And I have beat myself up this week about being disobedient. So spiritually, what has insecurity done to you? Right? If we're honest, and you can't get better if you're not honest with yourself. God already sees it. So you need to talk about it. 2 says, how has insecurity damaged you emotionally? Emotionally, some days I hate my life. Some days I hate my life and I can't really be free to express my true feelings. Sometimes we're not telling the truth, y'all. We're not saying what's really going on. And if I'm honest, emotionally, it's taking its toll on me because I'm tired, right? Are you tired? And then we pretend. I'll get to that. 3, mentally. How is it working on you mentally? You know, we're at home, but we're not at home. We're opening up, we're being more places, but we're not. So mentally, I have anguish. My head is full of thoughts. How's your head? What's in your head? What are you thinking about? What is bothering you? What is torturing you? What have you gone to God to pray about? I'm in prayer all the time because I'm supposed to be writing this book. And I told my agent today, I'm not going to say I'm overwhelmed. We've got to stop saying we're overwhelmed. And I'm going to give you a scripture why we're not going to do that. But we are more than overcomers. But we can't continue to say we're overwhelmed because we're speaking life into that. 4, how is insecurity messing with you physically? Well, I've been telling y'all for the last 5 weeks, I have been in physical therapy and going to the chiropractor. It has materialized or manifested in my knee and my back. So where is it to you? What insecurities are bothering you or holding you down or making you think less of yourself? Or what insecurities are you putting on to other people? What I mean by that is, just because you're feeling one way, are you putting that on somebody else? And then when you have insecurities, also jealousy creeps up. There's some jealousy coming in. But you've got to admit that. You have to say, this is what is going on. So I've gone to God. It says, Psalm 63:8, I cling to you. Your strong right hand holds me securely. So God is saying, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. I've shapen you. So then when I think about it, I'm like, you know what? Some of my insecurities are because I haven't done what God told me to do. Had I started lattes before, it's late now, and everyone says, oh, but you started. Yeah, I started. But God told me to start it a long time ago. So I have to go to him, and he has already said to me, he's the good father. I'm the crazy one. He has said, Laura, okay, you've done it. You started it. Move forward. I'm with you, which then goes back to Joshua, like last week, Joshua 1. Just like God was with Moses, he was with Joshua, and he is now with us. So what are we doing about it? What is keeping you from being obedient? And then what is keeping you from helping your sister or your brother out? What's keeping you from doing that? The reason I say that is insecurities. One, spiritually, let's tell the truth. Sometimes I am really mad at God. This week, I was told to do something and I did it, and it cost me. Yep, it cost me. And for me, for those of you who know me, and then those of you who don't, but those of you who know me, and I want you to just check your own self. For those of you who look at yourself and see, what are you really mad at? And when I thought about it, I'm not upset with God per se. I'm mad at myself. I'm not mad at God. I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at myself because he told me to do something and I didn't do it. So then sometimes we sabotage ourselves. Let me say and let me tell you why I say that. It says insecurity is often defined as self-sabotage. As you think about it, the effects on your own life, how would you describe it? So how many of you, put that in, how many of you are self-sabotaging? How many of you are self-sabotaging? God has told you one thing about you. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. He is with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Yet you are still, like Ingrid said, like Sonia said, you are worried about what other people think of you. And I have to tell you, I am with you as well on that. I am with you. I am with you. I am with you. God has given me a platform. God has given me something to say, and I am too insecure in myself, wondering how I look. Do I wear my glasses? Do I not? Do I wear my hair up? Do I not? Do I put on makeup? Do I not? Do I wear lipstick? Do I wear the black to slim? And Tony says black doesn't slim you anymore. You're either you're in a color looking big or you're black looking big, you know? Now this week, I've lost like 6 pounds. And that's because I just said, God, you do it. I'm about sick of this. Insecurity. And then instead of relying on God, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. So when I decided that I was not going to just rely on self, rely on Laura, then everything started to come off. Why? Spiritually, I went to God. Emotionally, I went to God. Physically, I went to God. And how? And mentally, I went to God. I just said to him, help me. So what are you struggling with? What are you afraid of? And what's the insecurity? Are you talking too much? Are you not talking enough? Are you not even being yourself because you're so afraid of if somebody's going to like you or not? What are we doing? What insecurity is holding you back? I'm going to read the 4 again. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, or physically. Which one is holding you back? What are you afraid of? I told my agent today, and I told God, I want to lose weight because I don't want my back to hurt. Because if my back doesn't hurt, then when I go on a speaking tour, I'm not huffing and puffing and walking crazy, right? So what about you? What are you insecure about if you can even, if you'll even admit to it? Because what I've found mentally, when I write it down and when I admit to it, God is like, now I can deal with it. God can't help you And you can't help anybody else if you're lying to yourself and lying to him. A lot of times, and lately in the pandemic, we've been playing games. Are you playing games? Have you been talking to God and telling him what you really need? Because if I'm honest, just last night, really, this morning, God said to me, pray for your enemies and pray for your friends. Just like Job 42:10. When he prayed for his friends, he turned the captivity. God worked it out. So let me show you Romans 8:28. Romans 8:28, and I know y'all know that, and that's part of my insecurity things. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose." And we know all, not some, all things work together for good for those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. Listen, all your insecurities, I'm not telling you to just put your insecurities out if you don't, just to put them out. Hold them then, but journal them. But tell your insecurities to God so that he can help you with them, because all those beautiful insecurities are what make you you. But in the same token, those beautiful insecurities, you need to give them to God and put them at the feet of Jesus and say, help me, God. Because a lot of times, some of our insecurities can also be projected onto other people. And I will say that I am very honest, outright, transparent, and I believe authentic. But here's the thing, not everybody does that. And not everybody's ready for that. And I got that from my mom and dad. I learned that from them. But the other thing that I learned from God himself, God who has helped me with my insecurities, what I have learned is everything is not expeditious to say. And when you tell things truthfully, you have to temper them, shape them, kind of mold them, soften them. Sometimes it's good just to say it point blank, and other times it's not. Sometimes you got to wait on God, sit back, and here go my cup. You know what I say. Sit back and take a sip. So, what are we going to do? Not much laughter tonight, y'all. I've had that week. And I've asked myself, what part did I play? And that's what I'm asking you tonight. What part did you play in any of the insecurities that you have? Self-sabotage. A lot of times we sabotage ourselves. You put so much on you that you can't get it done. You put so much on that you can't get it done. When all God is saying to you is, come to me, all you are heavy burden, and he'll give you rest. So, lately, this is the week that on Sunday night, it's not just one group, it's just, he gave me rest. And like I said, mentally, I was disobedient, and now this week I'm paying for it. So what about you? What are you afraid of? Because that's still from last week. All the lessons or all the talks go together. And here's the other thing. Last week I asked you, what are you? And this week, I am not. I refuse to be supercilious. And I refuse to let God down. So you know where I'm going. And I said this to you, and this is what I've got all week. This is what I've gotten all week. Verses 13 through 15. This so much that the book that I'm writing, my agent said, I get it. God said to me this week, and I'm going to ask you, What's your scripture for this year? What's your scripture for 2021? Y'all all know I'm in 1 Thessalonians 5, especially 13 through 15. And this week, God said to me, you've been preaching and teaching and talking all about how you love my people. So now it's time to practice it. So for you out there, your insecurities, if you're worried about other folks, remember you might be projecting that insecurity onto one of them. Everything is not always their fault. Look at yourself and what's going on with you. 1 Thessalonians 5, 13 through 15 says, get along among yourselves, each of you doing your part. Our counsel is that you warn the freeloaders to get a move on. Those who don't want to do anything, get to stepping. Get them out of your life. Get them away from you. Shake the dust and get to stepping. Gently encourage the stragglers and reach out for the exhausted, pulling them to their feet. Here's 15. Be patient with each person. Be patient with each person. Attentive to individual needs. And be careful that remember that, when you get on each other's nerves, you don't snap at each other. Look for the best in each other and always do your best to bring it out. Y'all, your insecurities, when folks are acting up, look for the best in them. That's what I have heard all week. Look for the best in everyone. And then also look for the best in yourself. And then look to God about your insecurities. Ask Him, what am I projecting onto somebody else? Fear? Doubt? Jealousy? Envy? Covetousness? What? Pity party? Some things you're just, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Right? Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And then remember that God is with you. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. And then Romans 8:28. All things, all your beautiful insecurities work together for the good. But in the meantime, you got to take them all to God. It's 8:29, y'all. Think about that. Think about that. You know, I was in the last minute, I was in Tamika Baker's confidence lab. And she said to me, your insecurities aren't weaknesses. Your insecurities are what make you. What if you looked at it differently? And what if you looked at your weaknesses as strengths? She said, for example, you say you flip-flop. My ideas change all the time. She said, I don't look at that as a flip-flop. I look at that as flexibility. Woo! That made my night. I can adapt to any situation. I'm flexible. I go any way. What's your weakness or what's your insecurity? And what can you lay at God's feet? I love y'all so much. Thank you for all the encouragement. Thank you for all the prayers. Thank you for just being here with me. We have a lot of work to do, and I have a lot of work to do. Website, Instagram. Oh, I have a lot of work to do, as well as the book. Book comes out March 16th. They pushed it back, but I need a launch team. So I need some of you to get a pre-copy, talk to me, and read it, and then tell us about it. And we'll use it in the marketing campaign. So I love you all. Have a wonderful night. And remember, all things work together for the good, for those who love God, the called according to His purpose. Good night.